My name's Neil Beazley. I've been using medical cannabis for 26 years.
Hello and welcome to Cannabis TV. In the very first edition of Cannabis Stories, we speak to Neil Beazley, who's been suffering from MS for almost 3 decades. Now then, let's talk cannabis. Hi Neil, thanks for talking with Cannabis TV.
Right, not a problem.
So you started experiencing pain at the beginning of the 90s relating to MS?
Yeah, it was chronic, kind of like sort of shooting pains. I would lose feeling in my hands and my feet. It was just, I just knew there was something going on. I used to say to my wife, I know there's something going on in my head. It's like I could feel the bits dying. It was weird, really, really weird sensation that I had in my head. And like sort of, I'm hanging off the fireplace one night in absolute agony. And like, so Angela couldn't touch me. She couldn't even touch me to help me to get me to sit on the couch. Because it was so much pain, it was unbelievable. And then the ambulance men came, and it took them about 3.5 hours to get me out the house. Ended up going up to 9 wells. And like sort of, they put me onto a course of steroids. That was my first course of steroids. And it settled that down. And we had to, I knew cannabis was good for me. For me, because I could physically feel the difference with my cannabis. With not having it, I would have the sensations, the pains, the shooting. It was like flowing fire running down your legs, hot, just pulsating, and like sort of smoke cannabis. It would just dull all your senses, and it was like it was just totally crazy. And then I ended up having to, because I couldn't afford to buy the amount of cannabis that I was using, I ended up selling, and like sort of
to make up for the medicine.
To be able to use it medicinally, because it was so dear. And like I ended up getting a visit, ended up going to trial, ended up going to jail.
When was that? Around
95, 96. I got 9 months before it worked out to be a 16th.
that seems like quite an extensive sentence.
But like, so they tried to do me consent to supply unknown people at unknown locations at unknown times.
That seems extremely unusual.
Yeah, unknown drugs and everything was unknown. It was crazy. It was just a crazy, crazy situation.
So do you think they were just targeting you specifically because it was cannabis?
Oh, without a doubt. And like sort of, but that's just part and parcel of my life. It was, well, my family's life, because it's not only me, it was my whole family they were targeting. And like sort of, so I ended up going away for 4.5 months. And the guy that was locked up above me was in for growing 128 plants for medical cannabis. He was growing his own medical cannabis. And like sort of, well, I was like intrigued, thinking I'll not have to deal or anything like that if I can just sort myself out. And that is it. Well, that's what it's about, is being well in myself, and that's what it's always been about the medical side of this. It's not about getting stoned is total benefit. You know, there's more to cannabis than getting stoned, and the more people are starting to realise this, the better.
So what would you say to someone that was sceptical about cannabis as a medicine but was considering it as an option?
Try it. Try it. It's not going to kill you. It hasn't killed a single person apart from, unless it's fallen from the bottom of a plane and hit you on the head.
So in your experience, how does cannabis compare as a medicine to what's currently available for MS?
Night and day. Night and day. You don't feel hungover. You don't feel
The side effects?
the side effects of what you get from the pharmaceutical drug.
Yeah.
The pharmaceutical drug, no matter what they do to it, it's always got that dirtiness about it after it's done. Don't get me wrong. It's like, sir, I do take pharmaceutical, but I take the bare minimum.
So you would say using cannabis increases your standard of living?
Without a doubt. It's night and day. If I don't have that, I'm never being able to get out for maybe a hobble with my dogs for a walk.
When were you first diagnosed with MS?
2002.
Do you think there should be more of an inquiry into how cannabis has helped your particular situation?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, to say like sort of, because they know what I've gone through, and I'm still surviving. I'm still doing what I've managed to do, and I'm still going to be a proverbial pain in the butt until they open the doors.
How many medications are cut because you're using cannabis? If you weren't to use cannabis as a medicine, like how many medications would you ordinarily have to take?
Another, I reckon, on the same medication, but like, I reckon 3 times the dose.
So cannabis is cutting the amount of pharmaceutical drugs down by a third.
Yeah. It's like sort of, I do feel sorry for these young children that with the epilepsy, because they need the THC. They don't just need CBD; they need THC as well, because the CBD just will not do it. You know, and the closer to the 50-50 ratio of CBD to THC you can get, the better. That's all I can say for medicinal cannabis. The closer you can get to 50-50 ratio, it's easy to remember, the better.
So how do you feel when you're looking globally and you see all these different regions of the world that are becoming more lenient towards cannabis and that are promoting it medicinally and recreationally, and yet in the UK it seems to be extremely rigid?
Well, the UK are just taking a stiff upper lip about it, aren't they? That's it is. It's like, as usual.
So how did you feel when cannabis was legalised on November 1st, 2018? Were you optimistic?
I wasn't holding my breath. You know, it is. It's like sort of, it's words that mean nothing. That's what it is. It's words that mean nothing, because it's not available. Where do you know where you can go and get it? Where?
Do you think it's ignorance, or do you think it's purposeful?
It's not ignorance. It's not ignorance, because they know. They know that it works. It's all down to money, and what right gets what. That's why it makes life so much easier if they allowed everyone to grow 6 plants. It stops. It's because you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know how to grow plants. There's no need for all these massive crops getting done and stuff like that, because they know you get your cannabis club societies up and running. Get the cannabis club. I think that's a brilliant thing. The cannabis clubs,
Cannabis social clubs.
yeah, without a doubt. It's like that's the way that it will go, without a doubt. Because especially if you're allowed to grow 6 plants, because then Harry could grow 6 of them, Jimmy could grow 6 of them. But those ones they're a sativa, which are a high, and Harry's growing an indica, which is a low, which is a quicker flowering plant. And in the midst, you could have somebody else growing someone else. All different horses for different courses. And then you could, at your club, you could say, oh, try that. And so, well, will you try that? And then it becomes like no money exchanged. It's just experience. Yeah. That's what it's down to.
Yeah, cannabis social clubs certainly promote community control.
Yeah, that's what it's, and quality. It lets people know you're not doing that right. And I don't mean that horrible, but I've seen some shocking stuff in my time.
Do you think cannabis social clubs work in the UK at the moment? So far, I think there are 75 registered.
Yeah, I think it's good. It is good. It's like sort of, and like I can see there being us having our own cannabis cup eventually, which would be good for the bigger picture. Would be good for Scotland.
So do you think the UK will ever fully legalise or decriminalise cannabis?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to eventually, because the pressure of the common people, the common person, the intelligent common person, and there's lots of them in Britain, will get to the government, because people are starting to realise what they're doing, especially when they've got their own GW pharmaceutical company growing so much of it and exporting so much of it.
So what do you feel when you see small children on BBC who struggle to get medicine such as CBD?
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
You don't think it's quite strange that people struggle to get CBD through the NHS, but they can also get it from health food shops and the like?
I mean, you say so you can get from the Holland and Barrett, they'll give you a flavouring of CBD. You know, it's like sort of, I recommend people, it's like sort of, suck an Oxo cube, you know, rather than get the CBD from Holland and Barrett, because it's nearer an Oxo cube than it is CBD.
I mean, do you think that contributes towards the impression that CBD is not as an effective medicine as it actually is?
Well, then knowing people are going to try it and think, oh, this is CBD, and then people are trying it and giving it, man, you've got to be joking, that does do absolutely nothing. It's like, man, I wouldn't even give that to, I mean, it might be okay if your budgie has a sore leg. That's how strong it is. You know what I mean? It's set up for like sort of test. It's like sort of, if you've got a little mouse as a pet and they're feeling they've got a wee sore bit, it might help your mouse. You know, but like, so what you're wanting Joe Public deserve the real McCoy.
So what would be your ideal situation for cannabis in the UK?
Decriminalisation. And everyone allowed to grow 6 plants. yeah, not everyone buys a TV license, but like so people buy TV licenses. Why don't you do it the same way as a TV license? I'll pay for a license to grow 6 plants. I'm willing to pay for that. 60, 70 quid a year. Not a problem. Done, there you go. And when I'm paying that, I know I can get a chap on the door any time and they get the entitlement to come and see my setup. You're making employment. You're employing someone to go round to these people's like a TV person. And if that person, you're chapping on the door, and that person is like, so hey, because you signed this contract, I'm just coming to check your grow room and everything, is that cool? And if that person says no, that's when that's when you've got to step it up a bit. It makes sense.
So do you feel that GPs and medical practitioners in the UK are scared to administer cannabis to patients?
Yeah, because they haven't got a clue what it's about. Because for years they've been told that it's so bad. Yeah, there's a few that know that it's not. But like sort of a majority of them are like, oh God, cannabis.
Do you think there should be an increased education on things like the endocannabinoid system and things like that?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, because everyone's got one. You know, it is.
What would you say to people already using cannabis in spite of its illegal status?
Respect. And keep on going. Because it always, you know what's right for you. End of.
So after you were released from prison in 1996, you began growing your own medicine.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like sort of, I was a sponge when I was in prison. It was like sort of, I took everything that this man, legend of a man, told me, and I was just like a sponge, and I took all this information in, and it's purely trial and error, purely self-taught, and I do it my way. You know, it's like sort of, and that's it. I just kept on perseverance, trial and error, as usual, and then I got turned over for growing medicinal cannabis in 2006.
So that'd be 4 years after your diagnosis that you actually had MS.
Yeah.
And you continued using your own medical cannabis that you grew yourself for another 4 years, and then you were busted by the police.
Yeah.
So in 2006 you were put on a tag. And between 2006 and 2016 that your interview with the paper?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened between 2006 and 2016? Was there...
I would say I would get visited at least twice every 3 years, and I've been admonished. It has to be 8 times for growing my own medical cannabis.
And when you were admonished, were you acknowledged as growing medicinal at the time?
Yeah. It is. It's absolutely crazy. You know, it's just kind of like sort of. But as I say, it's like sort of. It's good for me. If it wasn't for that, there's no other reason why I should be here, and they can't tell me why I'm still managing to do what I'm doing, but I am. So things have to change. They have to change. But like, so the younger generation, they don't. I mean, say like, so I think they see cannabis in a total different light. They see it as in a total different.
Well, it's not being as so negatively.
No, they're more positive for it. They don't see a lot of negativity about cannabis, which is brilliant. You know, because it's just sense. You look at, I mean, so you don't have to be brain of Britain to look at the stats on alcohol and the stats on cannabis. It's a no-brainer.
So what do you see happening in the UK within the next couple of years regarding cannabis?
Oh, my wish would be cannabis to be legalised, alcohol to be made illegal. That would do me. That would do me. The amount of hassle that alcohol causes, the old bill would be, thank God for that, man.
How do you feel that the claim that cannabis shouldn't be used recreationally because it increases psychological illnesses and impairments and
Psychosis.
Psychosis.
Right. I'm sorry, but I think psychosis has to be genetically in you at some part for it to be a key activator. Yeah, there will be people that will have a key activation too. But like sort of, it's like, I suppose an alcoholic might only have a certain drink, if you know what I mean, to get him activated, it's the same way, is it?
Yeah.
I reckon.
Well, it looks like that's all the time we have, Neil. I'd just like to say thanks again for chatting with Cannaman TV. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
A massive thanks to my wife and family for sticking by me for all these years, and a massive respect to the Scottish cannabis community.
Thanks again to Neil and his family for having the courage to share their story. And thanks to you for sticking around until the end of the video. I'll see you next time.